Hello everyone, I'm Della Wisdom by name, and this tutorial is brought to you by Multiscapes. Now this tutorial is going to teach you how to use Mailbox API to validate emails. Let's open our browser to let's navigate to Mailbox website. Let's open. Now as you can see with the it says Mailbox is secure, reliable email validation service to check for invalid email address. It connects to the email server and checks whether the mailbox exists or not. It reduces email bounce rate and cost. It increases conversion rate and sender reputation. So this actually like trying to explain that Mailbox checks for the email providers, the domain name. For example, you have something like Della Wisdom at gmail.com. Okay, as you can see now this is the actually the service or the email provider. That's the domain name of the email provider, and this here now is the user name of the person using this service. Now basically, as you can see, this email is syntax correct. The syntax is correct because it has a user's name and also has the domain name, which includes the gmail.com, which also provides this email, which is the service provider for this email. This actually refers to the mailbox where this email is coming from. Now what Mailbox does is that the Mailbox validates this user if it actually exists in this mailbox, which is gmail.com. Now if this user doesn't exist, it actually returns a response to you, which from the rejection response you will see the status of the email to be false, telling you that this user doesn't actually exist. And on this case now you can see that the email syntax is correct. So on the syntax response is going to tell you that the syntax is correct. Thus it also returns true or false. True if the syntax is correct, false if the syntax is not correct. Now it's going to return but on when you're trying to use something like this, let me say filter private, okay, something like email slash filter validates mail. Okay, something like this. You can see that this actually check for only the syntax of the mail, which doesn't actually check if the domain name exists or not. This actually checks if the syntax of this mail that is provided here is actually correct, and this you can see this is not actually enough for email validation. This can actually like accept emails like text at text.com, which at initial this syntax is actually correct, but the domain name doesn't really exist anywhere on the web. So with Mailbox, this actually validates the syntax, validates the domain name if it exists, then check if the syntax or the user using that domain name exists inside the domain, that's the mailbox of that email providers. So Mailbox is actually cool, and at initial they are going to like provide you with text and a trial version of it for you to test out their services, and they're also going to like is a paid service. It's not actually free. So let's check out the demo of it now. Let's type something like text.com, text.com validates. As you can see now, I say this email address is invalid, telling the syntax is correct, verified, domain exists, domain doesn't exist at all, raw email, disposal and all those stuff. All these things, now when you're trying to use the API, all these things will be returned to you in the JSON format, which you can manipulate. Now see the JSON format that this image is going to this service is going to return to you when you query their service, or you query their API. So these are the stuffs, the response you're going to get. Now, without not much talking, let's bounce out let's go straight to the coding and how to implement this API. Now, first of all, you have to have account with Mailbox. Secondly, I already have account with them. If you want to create an account with them, you actually go for sign up free trial. So usually requires your email and all these things, fill up the stuff and register. Then you log into your, let me actually zoom this stuff. Then you log into your to your dashboard. From your dashboard you see your API, then you copy it. Now let me log into my dashboard. Did I forget this email? Try this stuff. Okay, that's it. So this is how your dashboard is going to look like, and inside it you're going to see your API key. This is the API key here. Now if you don't already have the API key here, you have to like go to a network. Okay, this is the plan. So if you don't have any API provider, you have to subscribe to a plan or paid or free one. But if you want to test it out, you have to like go for a texting one. Now let's download the SDK of the API. Now for you to download the SDK, go to developer, go to SDK modules. Okay, it's up. This is the SDK. Depending on the language we are using. On this tutorial, I'm going to use PHP model. So from a PHP model, you download the SDK from the GitHub. Where's my network? Stop. Where is it disconnected? Okay, from the GitHub, click on clone or download, then download zip. I already have it in my system. I don't need to download it again. So inside my system, sorry, this is where I have the SDK file. Inside this email, this is the SDK file. It's going to download as you see. When you open it, you will see this folder. I already copied all this whole file inside a folder called Mailbox. You can name the folder anything you want, but this is the whole file with the JSON, the composers or JSON file inside it. So inside the SRS, that is source, you will see the SDK. You see the PHP file, which you are going to use the class to connect to the API. Now, without wasting much time, now the tools I use for this tutorial is the Sublime Text and use and make sure that your sample is running for PHP and MySQL's locales. So inside our Sublime Text, we have our single validation file, which we downloaded from Mailbox website. So this is how the file looks like. As you can see, this if you want to connect to if you only want to validate only the email, then disposer email, then free email. On this tutorial, we're going to focus on this validate email only. So first, let's create our JS file, which we use to communicate with our PHP file. My script is going to be on JS folder. This one I will name it wscript.js. Save it. Let me close this one off. And I already have a index file. That's where already have a template that I will use to validate the email. Just a simple template. Inside it you have a form where you user have to put the email, then you validate it, collect the input, send it to our PHP file inside our system, our file, then validate it with our PHP script. Now why I'm using the AJAX is that it will enable you to validate or bring out or get back a response without any page refresh. So I think that's actually cool, and it's like makes the whole stuff faster and easier and simpler. So inside this markup we have a form called valid form, and you have only one input field, name email, ID of email, name of email, type of email. Then you have a one button which is validate email. It's actually a submit button, the ID of valid email btn. Then now this is where our response goes. On this email part is going to like this, where the email of the user is going to display when we query the Mailbox API, and this is where our domain name of the email is going to appear when we query the Mailbox API. This is the syntax status is going to appear, whether it's valid or correct or incorrect syntax. Then this is where the status of the email is going to display, if it is a valid or invalid email. So this is all we have this markup. So let's head straight to our JX file. JX file. So actually we are going to use JQuery. Make sure that you have JQuery in your system or in your folder. Now this is where the JQuery is, and this is the script I'm using. So make sure that the script is below the JQuery file that you put it inside you're using inside your system. So that's it, guys. Let's go to our script, and first you have to type yeah, we actually go to check if our jQuery is actually working. Let's see alerts. Hello. Okay. Now let's open our file and does it. Okay, jQuery is actually working. So let's continue. Let's clear this sort of stuff out. Now let's get the form on submit using the ID. So I'm going to get this ID once the form submitted. You just like disable the refresh of the page, prevent the default behavior by refreshing the page if the submit button is clicked. So use the ID name of the form submit function. That's it. So inside this function we have a arguments which we are going to use to prevent this default behavior like not allowing to load. So let's check. Okay, let's use console. Okay, the stuff is working. Let's open our console. Okay, our console. So let's refresh the page. So let's put any stuff, click on this. You can see the page didn't refresh and it returns okay, which means this is actually working. Okay, let's comment this. Now let's get the value of the input box, which will be email equals to ID of the email input that we're getting the value. Sorry. Let's console the value. Value. See if it's actually going to get the whole stuff. So let's put in an email. Okay, it's getting it. That's cool. Sorry. Let me increase this so you can see it's more better. Wrap. Word wrap. Okay. Word wrap. So let's remove this. It's not actually what we want. Now we now get our, as you can see, if we click on this stuff here, it's not actually telling you that this thing is actually loading or is actually like performing any task. So you have to like make this button to signify to the user that it's actually like querying the API, trying to get some information from the API or from the server. So let's quickly do that by getting the ID of the button, saying this is a valid button ID. So let's see, when clicked, we just get change the HTML content to validating email. So then we disable the button so that the user don't have to like click again. I call it with that attribute. True. So with this, let's check it out. It's going to work. Okay, it's actually working. The user can click this thing again. It's disabled. You can click. So let's go back to some other stuff. So we have already achieved this. So let's send the request to our server to validate or to communicate with the API, then give us a response. So using the PHP post request. So actually we are going to create a function folder inside our email validator folder. Then inside the email we're going to create a file called validate email.php. Now this signifies the data we are sending to the server, which is email. Now let's run our function. Data. I think everything is okay. So let's console that. Sorry. So log that. Okay, let's create a folder called function. Inside the function, let's create this file here. File. Sorry. I should take this from update PHP. I'm just trying to save it. Try this way again. Okay, I run our PHP file. But before running the PHP file, you have to check. Actually, check if data is sorry, using it. I said which is going to be post request. That is email. And let's create email variable. Post. Okay, let's go at email. So let's test it out if it's going to work or it's going to communicate with the server. Let's go back to our browser, refresh. It's actually working. Returns the email. So let's make this thing to get back to the normal values, that default values before it's being clicked. As you can see, this thing is still showing validating the email, which actually sounds like query the server and have return export is supposed to return to its normal state. So let's quickly do that. So this was the normal, the default or the default value. To that, then this is going to be false. Okay, that's okay. Let's try it out. It's supposed to work. Okay, actually work. Okay. Another thing to do is let's communicate with the API. Let's go back to our PHP file again, validate email file again. So what we now need to do is now to import the Mailbox class, which I'm going to use include on this in this case, include once. In this case, the Mailbox folder, then inside the source folder SRC, and the name of the file. Sorry, the name of the file, which is a single validation .php. Let's just quickly copy that to avoid errors. Now let's initiate the class. So this name is on Mailbox. Sorry. sorry, I did a mistake here. Mailbox equals to new. Okay, so as you can see, sorry, as you can see, this class has an argument on the construct function, so which is the API key in this case. So we are going to create a variable in here. Here we are going to include our API key. API key. I don't know what's wrong with this keyboard. Just like typing twice, single hit. Okay. We pass the argument, which is the API key, to the class. I think that should be. We have imported the class. Now let's access the method inside the class, which we are going to use to communicate or access the API validate function, which is this one. So let's quickly do that. Okay, let's find a variable to store it, to store the response. So which is going to be Mailbox stuff. What's wrong with this shit? This. Okay. Getting. Now it's going to return an object to us. So what we are going to be sending to the front end or to the AJAX request is the in JSON format. So we are going to convert the response to JSON. So what I mean is that, okay, let's say for example, I say variable jump response. You can see this is going to be an object response. Okay, let's get our API key first, because we get that it's not actually going to API key stuff. Get our API key. Let's get it. Okay, good to go. So let's from our scripts, let's console. Why is it closed? This okay. Let me just create email. Okay, as you can see, this thing returns an object. Now this object, now you can quickly or easily access it from with your AJAX request on the front end. So what we just do is to convert it to a JSON format and send it back to the AJAX request, which will now bring it to the user. So what we do, just a simple script that we do that. Simple script. Down with this. Let's close this stuff. So there is something like this. And this which is going to be, let me just name this results. JSON response. Then you say JSON encode response. Actually going to encode everything to a JSON format. So let's echo it out. Cool. JSON response. Let's see what we got. Okay, so you can see this is the first response and this is the second response. Now it's on a JSON format. Now you can easily access this stuff. So from the you can easily access it from the front end. So that's what we want to do. So converting the object to a JSON format. So that's it. It's cool. So this is basically what we are going to. Okay, now we have said that's all we have to do on this validate email PHP script. Now we're going to handle all other stuffs and on our script file here. So first we are going to pass in a JSON function to get the JSON response from the user. So select response shots dot pass JSON the data we're getting from the site. So keep uploading. So this is it. So we are going to now for this you can get something like data, since you have. Okay, let me just copy this stuff and place it so that you get insight of what you're trying to do and how you're accessing the whole stuff. So from here now, let me see, where is this thing? Comment it. Now let's get the email address. Now for you to access this email address, you can simply do something like console.log data email address. Simple as that. You can console the email address of the user. So let's quickly refresh. Put email. Where is undefined. Sorry, it's supposed to be response. This variable we have already passed the JSON format to this. So it's to work out. Cool. Now returns the payment. So that's how we're going to access all the inputs. So let's comment this. So we can say, well, let's check if the domain is actually okay. First, let's put the email. Let's output the email to the user. We're not going to console this thing out again. Let's run that file again. This file. So this is where it's going to appear. So let's put it here. It's going to be on this here. It's going to appear under beneath this email here. So I'm going to get the ID .html. No, sorry. Keep putting that again. So it's going to put on the from the user. Instead of consoling it again, it's not going to console it. It's going to output it here beneath this. Okay, cool. That's it. So let's do I need this console? I need it later. Just leave it. So now another thing we're going to check is the domain name. So we're going to check if this is verified or not. Thus we're going to fetch this if this domain name really exists or not. So if it actually exists, it's going to return true. If it doesn't exist, it's going to return false. So you can simply do that by just typing this dot this domain equals to true. If it's equals to true, I'm going to use the ternary operator. Easy. This here and clean code. So what is it? The domain. So if this actually exists, let it output the domain name. Domain domain. The hell am I doing here? So keep on misbehaving. I don't know what's wrong with this stuff. So actually we are going to access this domain here, which is going to return this stuff here. So that is it. So if it returns false, then tell the user that this is an invalid domain. So actually going to style it a little bit by using the span. Give it a class of text. Yeah. So invalid domain. So that's it. The next one is the syntax. Let's check for the syntax if it is actually okay using the ternary operator too. That's the syntax. So what you're going to access is where is that syntax? Okay, this is it. The syntax. It returns if the syntax is correct, it's going to return true. If it's not correct, it returns false. So it's going to be if it's true, that it return. Yeah, we are putting it on the syntax. Syntax paragraph. So do something like this. Okay. Let be HTML. Okay, it's going to simply output if this is true, it's going to correct syntax. X is going to return incorrect syntax. Incorrect syntax. So that's all for this. And this one is the final one, who's going to check the status of the email, whether it's correct or not, whether the email exists or the user doesn't exist on the domain name provided. So let's quickly do that, which is where the status true or false. True. If it exists. If it's going to put the status paragraph return. So we are going to write some markup. So we're going to make this class to that sources because actually exists. So it's going to be valid email. So if this false, actually going to return invalid email danger. Invalid email. So I think that's cool. That's all for this. So let's go back to our app. Let's refresh. So let's test it out. So get a wisdom at gmail.com. Wow, it actually worked. Why did I really type? Oh, sorry, I type. As you can see now, it's telling me that this email is invalid, but actually has a domain name correct syntax, but the email is invalid because no one has this email. So if I should remove this and click on it again, you see it is now valid. So that's it. So let's text.com. Okay, this it has an invalid domain. Nobody have this domain name anywhere in the internet, and it's an invalid email. So let me say you're trying to validate your users. You're trying to validate your users. You don't want any dummy text or any dummy email in your database. You can actually use this API. It's cool and nice for validating email. So that's it. Let me see, try another one. So guys, that's it. If you like this image, subscribe to my channel, like the video and share to your friends. Thank you all for watching. Thanks.